Hello, guys, how's it? Welcome to Shooting the Shit with Jeremy, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything, anyone and everyone. Enjoy the show. How's it? Hello, guys, welcome to episode 2. And first of all, thank you, much mahalos. Thank you for everybody who listened, downloaded, and checked out our first episode. Super stoked that you guys checked it out and liked it, or if you didn't like it, that's cool too. I like the feedback, but please keep it going. Share the show. Check out our website. We're working on an Instagram and a Facebook page, but shootingtheshitwithjeremy.com. You can email me at shootingtheshitwithjeremy@gmail.com and give me some more feedback. I really love it, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. So stoked for you guys. With episode 1 underway and going into episode 2, there's a lot of things that might have came up and questions that came up with episode 1 for a lot of the people that don't know who I am and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I thought I'd address that in episode 2, just give everybody a brief rundown and a brief understanding and a brief introduction, if you will, of who I am and why I decided to take this podcast journey and open myself up and give my 2 cents, whether you want to hear it or not, or if you agree with me or don't agree with me. But that's just who I am, and this is an avenue I wanted to take. So those of you guys that don't know me, obviously my name is Jeremy. What most people don't know is I was born with what is called aortic stenosis, which is the aortic valve in your heart doesn't open and close all the way. I also was born with a hole in my heart, but that healed once I got a little bit older. Not really sure when that healed, but anyways, so with aortic stenosis, I was given a lot of medical treatment when I was young. This was in 1981, so you can imagine the difference between today, 2022, and 1981. Different styles. The way I remember it, and I could be different, and my parents might say it different, or my grandparents, my family, but the way I lived my life is I thought I wasn't supposed to live to be a day, wasn't supposed to live to be a week, a month, see my 5th birthday, see my 18th birthday, see my 21st birthday, and so on and so on. So I always had this hang in there and just take every day, every moment as it came. And it taught me to look at things a lot differently than most other people, a lot differently than a lot of other people. Because tomorrow was never promised to me. In my eyes, tomorrow was never promised to me. So I always just kind of was either one of 2 ways, like took everything in, enjoyed everything, and just loved everything, or 2 is like, fuck it, I'm gonna die. I could die right now anyways, let's just see what happens type deal. Because of this condition I was born with, I have had 4 open heart surgeries to try and correct and fix and the problem and prolong my life as best as could be. My first open heart surgery when I was 5 was done in Canada, where they cut and opened my aortic valve to make the blood flow a little bit better. 12 years old was done in Kapiolani Hospital on Oahu, where I had a artificial titanium valve installed. When I was 17, the surgery I had, because I grew so big, they thought I was gonna be stunted growth, so they weren't expecting it. Anyways, 17, I was flown to San Diego Children's Hospital, where I had what they call the Ross procedure, Dr. Ross. They took my aortic valve out, put my pulmonary valve in my aortic valve's place, and put a donor valve in my pulmonary valve's place. So they just kind of did a little tire rotation, if you will. And the 4th one I had was because I had a tongue ring that got infected, that turned to staph, that went to endocarditis, which is infection of the heart liner, and it caused some calcification and problems with my heart valve. So they needed to go in and replace that artificial pulmonary valve. When they were in there, they saw that I was about ready to have an aortic hemorrhage, which is, if you know, is bad. It's instant death pretty much. So what they did is they came out, asked my mom, hey, do you think he would mind? If not, we're going to have to open him up, close him up, wake him up, get his permission, sign the papers, and have him go back in and fix it. And my mom told him, just do what you got to do. He's going to be pissed. He's not going to care. He'll sign whatever. I'll sign whatever, and we'll just get it done. Make it good. Make it right. When I came through, so they did. And then when I came up and I woke up and my eyes open, I'll never forget this. All the doctors were standing around me. And they're like, we got to tell you something. I'm like, oh shit, they fucked up. I'm dead. I'm not, whatever. They're like, and they told me the story, and I'm like, good. You fixed it. I would have jumped off this table and killed you if you would have woke me up in the middle of open heart surgery. So they were relieved. I was happy. And yeah, now it's, we moved on from that. That was 24. I'm 41. Obviously there's situations. I go to the doctor every year. I do my checkups every year. There's and will be calcification, hardening of the valve, so I will have another open heart surgery, but we'll just deal with that when the time comes. And that'll be another notch in my belt, or another story for another time when it does happen. My condition and those surgeries gave me quote unquote an excuse, like, oh, I can't do that because of my heart, or I can't do this because of my heart. And when I say excuse, I never used my heart as an excuse to not do anything that I thought would benefit me. I used it as an excuse in things that I thought could be dangerous, or I didn't want to do really, and I just didn't have the balls to say it. When you're younger, you want to follow the crowd. But no, I don't want to try the cigarettes, I have a heart problem. No, I don't want to try those drugs, I have a heart problem. But and then it came to like, hey, you want to go surfing? Yeah, I'll give it a try. Hey, you want to go do a triathlon? Yeah, why not? You want to be a lifeguard? Sure, why not? This heart's not going to stop me. This heart problem is not going to stop me. So, that is what I meant by I use it as excuses. There's a few more in there, but you guys get the gist of it. I never liked using it as an excuse to not do something productive. I use it as an excuse to stay safe and stay away from negativity for the most part. Also, growing up, because of this situation that I was born into, I wasn't made into the situation. Excuse me, I was born into the situation, but I wasn't, it wasn't a situation that I got to choose, that my family got to choose, or anybody got to choose. It just, it is what it is. It was what it was. It obviously changed my perspective on life, and I looked at things a lot differently. The one thing that I really noticed at a young age was, we would always have these people come into our schools and talk about how they did better for themselves, and how they were basically inspirational speakers, right? So they did this, and this, and then because of that, they did this or did that. And the one thing that I noticed growing up, it started in elementary school, middle school, high school, and even when I was working at the county, we had some inspirational speakers that came through. And the one thing that I noticed is majority of those people, more than majority, all of those people were made a choice to get to where they were at. They decided to do the drugs and then go to rehab, and then now they're better for themselves. They decided to, break the law and go to jail and do better for themselves, which is cool. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you did better for yourselves. You got better. You cleaned your life away, But I always, in the back of my mind, was thinking to myself, hey, they made a choice. They went down that road. They did, and they still are. They're being inspirational speakers and telling people that they could do this and they can do that. What about somebody like me? What about the people like me that never had a choice, never had the opportunity to say, hey, let's go right instead of left, or, let's break this law instead of not break this law. I was born with this situation. I wasn't allowed to pick and choose what the outcome was, so to speak, right? Like, you can't play sports or you're going to die. Like, is there really a choice in that? I mean, to a point, yes, but you know what I mean? It wasn't like, well, I'm going to steal this car and see what happens. So I used to get, honestly, a little upset, and I used to not pay attention. I'm talking to myself, and yes, I talk to myself. I'm saying like, I could do a better job than these guys. I know I've been through way more stuff than these guys. I've done more stuff. I've come on the other side of stuff that I didn't have a choice to go through. There was no there was no choice, and I came out on the other side with flying colors in my eyes and how I felt. So in the back of my mind, like I said, I always kind of wanted to do inspirational speaking and tell my story and help people out and say like, hey, not everybody's got to go through a negative choice to better themselves and then come out on the other side. Some of you guys are going to be presented with a situation that is out of your control. Can you still better yourselves on the other side? You can better yourself on the other side. Will you choose to better yourself on the other side? How will you play that game? How will you take that situation, learn that lesson, and come out on the other side of it? And I always wanted to be like, look at me. I did this, and this, and I came out because of this. Or they said I couldn't do this, but I did this. I was supposed to die, but I'm here. I wasn't supposed to live and do this, but guess what? I did do this. That kind of thing. So I always had that in the back of the mind. So a lot of the times when people ask me why I decided to join jiu-jitsu, train jiu-jitsu, do the world championship in jiu-jitsu, why I decided to do some sprint triathlons, why I became a lifeguard, why I paddled out on those huge days and surf, why am I going for a run, or why am I doing all these crazy things that the doctors told me not to do. And granted, they didn't seem crazy to me. It was crazy to the doctors. It was crazy to my family that I was doing it, but it was just, that's what my friends were doing. That's what everybody else was doing. And in the back of my mind, I was doing those things because I was building a foundation of things that I could speak about, that I could talk about, that I could show people about, that look, hey, yes, there are things that I'm not supposed to do, but I did them anyways, and I'm okay. Now, I'm not telling anybody to go against doctor's orders or go out and try and run a triathlon or do whatever, it's in your physical limitations of what you can and cannot do. I know my body. I know what I can get away with and what I can't get away with. So there's, that was part of the reason why I did a lot of the things. Also, I started enjoying it. I really enjoyed jiu-jitsu. I made some of the best friends of my life. I traveled all over the country. Triathlons, some of my coworkers now that we started with are doing Ironmans. And I was in the best shape of my life. And I love surfing to this day. I don't get to do it as much as I'd like to, but I'm still, doing all those things. And it's awesome, and it is who I am now. It is Jeremy who did the sprint triathlons, Jeremy who joined jiu-jitsu and went on world championships. It is Jeremy, the lifeguard from Kapaa Pool, that taught my kids how to swim. It all ties in, and it is who I am, and it helped me become and be who I am in this point in my life. And it's stories I can tell people, and it's just happy. And obviously there's downsides to it and sad times and hard times, but for the most part, I'm stoked to have taken that journey and gone through that journey and became who I become, and have the stories I have and the experiences that I have because of the situations I was put in throughout my life. That's enough of me rambling on and talking and telling you guys a little life story. Hopefully you guys enjoyed a little look into my past and who I am and what I've become and who I've become. And thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for downloading. Thank you guys for checking us out and liking us and sharing us. Please share us if you think I could help somebody out or this could help somebody out. Once again, check us out, shootingtheshitwithjeremy.com, Facebook, Shooting the Shit with Jeremy. You guys can email me at shootingtheshitwithjeremy@gmail.com. Alrighty, we'll check you guys out on the next episode. So you guys have a great day. Much mahalo. Thank you again so much.